Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, Siriana Tarot. This is going to be a Mars conjunct Venus twin flame reading for my dearest Aries. So Aries, on July 13th, Venus and Mars will align at 19 degrees of Leo. And this happens every 2 years or so. We'll be feeling this energy a week on either side of the 13th. This transit will shine down creativity, harmonize any imbalances, and activate soulmate and twin flame contracts. So when Venus, the goddess of love, and Mars, the fearless warrior, come together, we feel an awakening of the feminine and masculine principles within us. This awakening will help shift our attitudes towards sexuality and relationships. So what I'm going to do, you guys, I'm going to read the divine feminine on the left, the divine masculine on the right, and then we're going to see what's going on between you guys right in the middle. Also, just remember that I'm not talking about gender, you guys. I'm reading energies here. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Let's see what messages come through for my dearest Aries on their twin flame journey. All right, so we've got drifting. Okay, so the divine feminine could feel as though, or maybe is drifting away from the masculine. I also really like this energy though, because it can be an energy of, okay, I'm releasing, I'm letting go. I'm just gonna go with the flow. I'm gonna see what the universe brings. Okay, because there's like a carefree energy there. All right, the divine masculine, childhood. Wow. So could be dealing with some inner child wounds or some past wounding from childhood when it comes to love and relationships. The divine masculine here could just sort of be wanting to explore, wanting to adventure. I'm seeing that as a very Aries energy. Okay, and then we get synchronicity. Wow, so definitely you guys paying attention to the synchronicities. I'm not sure about you guys. I'm doing this reading actually on the 13th, but this past week I cannot go anywhere without seeing certain number synchronicities and just like feathers, and it's like the universe is speaking so loudly right now. So pay attention to those, trust in those synchronicities. If you feel like, I'm just going crazy or I'm just looking for them, Spirit wants you to know that that's not the case. You're actually receiving messages that you're meant to pay attention to, okay? Now, the overall energy there, we have choice. So again, it could be that there's a choice in love, okay, but remember that you always have a choice. You have the power to say no or to walk away at any point in time, all right? But you know what, I do kind of like this drifting energy. We see this person here just kind of dancing, kind of moving around, doing their own thing. And it's like both of you and your person, and again, that's probably because your energies are really affecting one another. But in this sort of like carefree energy, like, let's see where this goes. Let's see what happens. I do see that there's some sort of passion here developing as well. And some of you, my divine feminine, felt like she was just sort of drifting around. One of my favorite stories by one of my favorite authors. I'm not sure if you can get it in English, but it's Horacio Quiroga. And it's A la Deriva, which is, it's actually quite a dark story. It's a short story. It's called Adrift, I think is the translation in English. But I don't know. That's just, that's being brought to my mind. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what messages come through. Just one moment, guys. Okay, sorry about that. So I looked at when I paused the camera at 4:04. That's one of the number synchronicities I've been seeing lately. So yes, wow. All right, so let's see what's going on with the divine feminine. You guys could be seeing 444, 144, 404, something with fours may be important for you guys as well. So the divine feminine here is the Knight of Pentacles, steady progress. I do feel like the divine feminine might be holding space for the masculine while he's on an adventure, while he's exploring. Could be exploring his sexuality, could be exploring other options. It could just be exploring the world. Again, you may not even know who the divine masculine is. but you know that he's coming. You know that you guys are linked. And so I feel like this drifting energy, I really like this energy of the divine feminine here, because she's very sort of chill. You know, I did get, maybe she is drifting away from the masculine, or maybe she feels that way, but I don't feel like she's anxious. I don't feel like the divine feminine or you are, you know, like, I feel like you're enjoying the process. I really like that. And just have this knowing, you know, that you're on the right track, that you're going to be led by synchronicities, by signs, by your intuition, by spirit, by universe, you know, to your happiness here. So we get the Knight of Cups, romantic gesture. Look at that. So for some of you, there's a choice, whether that's the divine feminine trying to choose between a soulmate and a twin flame. You know, for many of us, twin flame journeys are very difficult. Okay, they're frustrating, they're exacerbating. They're painful at times, but they're also extremely beautiful. So again, the divine feminine may be drifting away from this connection to explore other options. Okay, it could be both of you. Again, you may not even know who this person is, but there is some sort of romantic gesture coming in towards you. So follow these signs and synchronicities. You know, it could be a karmic. But remember, karmics, we are all somebody's karmic, and karmic situations are meant to teach us lessons that we need to learn so that we can come into union or be the highest expression of ourselves. So we have the Emperor in reverse. Yeah, so the divine feminine may not be ready for commitment at this point in time. She might be sort of going back and forth between different options, might be enjoying playing the field. It may also be as a result of the divine masculine not showing up in his full emperor status or energy. You know, maybe the divine masculine has a choice between partners or people, between a soulmate and between his twin flame. But it's weird because, you know, normally I would kind of get like an angsty energy off of this, or feel like, you know, a little bit like, but I feel like everybody here is feeling pretty good about what's going on. And I feel like the divine feminine may be drifting away from the masculine if he's not willing to offer her the safety and the security that she's looking for. And I also feel like, you know, she's saying, okay, well, I'm going to move forward. I have these options. I know I'm on my path, and I know that I'm doing what I need to do at this point in time, regardless of what's going on with the masculine. But I get this very sort of loving, understanding energy from the feminine. And then we get the King of Pentacles. Wow. So we get the King of Pentacles. So she's moving, the divine feminine is moving towards stability. You know, maybe if that's creating a family, maybe, and whatever that means to you, that can be dogs and houseplants, that could be, you know, having a fish tank, it can be, you know, blending families with your beloved, whatever it might be, or having or creating a family. And again, there are options. The divine feminine is seemingly enjoying these options and very slowly and steadily moving towards this stability when it comes to relationships. Now, it could also be that she's enjoying the back and forth between her and the masculine, holding space for him while he goes through these shifts and this sort of adventure that he's on and these changes, knowing that he may not be exactly where he wants to be, but holding this space. Not putting her life on hold, but holding space for this, because she knows that it's ultimately developing into something really beautiful. So here we have the King of Cups in reverse. So emotional mastery. So this is what I'm seeing. There's something being triggered within the divine masculine that either goes back to his childhood or is keeping him sort of in quote unquote player status, this Emperor in reverse. Okay, and there's something that he's going through emotionally that is really being brought up to the surface at this point in time. And I just get that the feminine is holding space and understanding what that is. Again, he could be closed off completely emotionally to this connection or to those around him, while this energy comes up to the surface to be purged and released. So we get the Nine of Swords, self-sabotage, and nightmares. So there's a dark night of the soul that may be taking place for the masculine. It may be masked in a need for adventure or an inability to settle down. It may be masked in, you know, being promiscuous and having many different partners. But there's definitely this huge awakening that I feel like is going to bring the masculine back into like a childlike joy and wonder. But this is the energy that he has to go through first. We get the Lovers, twin flame connection. So again, there's that energy of choice coming through. And again, the divine masculine may be the one who has choices, the divine feminine, or both. But, I feel like this soul, at the soul level, the divine masculine is being anchored back into this connection with this divine feminine who's adrift. And we get the Three of Swords, heartache. Yeah, so this is the Three of Swords, you guys, for me, is an energy of the original trine, mother, father, and child. So I do feel like the divine masculine is dealing with some heavy issues, maybe even abuse, conflict, divorce, infidelity that came from childhood. And this may be preventing this union at this time. But I feel like the divine feminine is realizing, okay, I'm holding space. I understand. This is something that I can support and help heal the masculine by supporting and healing myself. And taking things really slow, understanding that I have choices as well. While my masculine is out of alignment or can't put energy into this connection, I'm going to work on building happiness and stability for myself. Okay, I like this. I do like this energy. These are some really intense cards, though, for the divine masculine. So there's something from childhood, either the way that he learned to love, or there's some sort of trauma or abuse in the past that may keep him... and again, I feel like the divine masculine may not be making a choice right now, might be avoiding making a choice, which ultimately is, but I don't think that's holding the feminine back here. And it's weird because these are very emotionally heavy cards, you guys, on the masculine side, but I feel like both are taking it in stride, okay? So we have the Five of Pentacles, isolated and alone. So I also feel like this is part of the choice that the feminine had. Okay, so whether the masculine has gone off on another adventure, dipped, gone silent, ghosted, broken up, whatever it might be, the divine feminine recognized that she had a choice. She could either feel isolated and alone, or she could recognize the love and abundance around her. That holding space for the masculine doesn't mean that she has to be miserable. And, we're being told, again, it's which wolf are you going to feed? This is something that Alana Fairchild, I think it's a Native American, but I could be wrong, fable, or tale, or story about, we each have two wolves inside, and it really depends which wolf are you going to feed. And I feel like the divine feminine is feeding the wolf of love and compassion and stability, community, okay, leaning on her inner circle, her friends, her family, and not allowing herself to be in this Five of Pentacles energy, because I actually feel like it's a lesson that she's already mastered. Ooh, and then we get Two of Cups, divine partnership. So I do feel like, it may be the divine masculine where these Five of Pentacles energy, feeling isolated and alone as he kind of goes through this. It could be a dark night of the soul, but it feels like a very adventurous one. I do feel like it's cloaked in something different, whether it's promiscuity or travel or adventures, and none of that's bad, but I do feel like that he is being brought back to center. And we see that little Red Riding Hood energy, and I feel like the dark night of the soul has been disguised for a while as something else, if that makes sense. But ultimately, it's this energy, this learning, this enlightenment is bringing the two of you back together. And we see the Ten of Cups. So the Ten of Cups coming out in reverse is, about wish fulfillment. What is it that you truly want? I do feel like there's an energy of excess here. Again, that may be cloaking this dark night of the soul. So it may be like drinking or overly intoxicating. It can be promiscuity. It can be not sitting still, overworking, burying himself in work. Okay. Or, or traveling, like not sitting still, like going from one place to the other, in order to not be by himself or having to deal with this. But at some point in time, this happens, okay, if it hasn't already happened. So I do see that you may be in separation. And I do feel like also when it comes to commitments, this is contentment and joy, but it's also a card of marriage. So when it comes to commitment, I feel like the divine feminine isn't committing herself necessarily to one person. I think she's holding space, but also in this very exploratory energy, trying to decide and to parse out what is for her and what isn't, because she may have a choice here between knights. She may have a choice between 3, but she's ultimately gravitating towards what's going to make her safe and stable and secure. And then we have the Magician. So some of you guys, you're dealing with a Virgo or a Gemini. Strong Gemini here because we have the Lovers card in reverse. Aries as well, which is your sign. So another Aries maybe. But what I'm seeing here, we have the Knight of Wands in reverse. So somebody here maybe, I keep getting this sort of, this download, this hit, this message of somebody being in and out, somebody maybe being quite promiscuous at this time, but it's not this negative energy. It's this adventurous, exploratory energy. And I do feel like with the Magician, there's some sort of communication coming in that's going to bring you guys back together, or at least start this process. It doesn't have to be a text message, okay? It may be something in the dream space. It may be something that you get, you know, because I feel like the feminine here is sort of drifting and floating around, but enjoying this experience and what she's learning. And, you know, it's like as soon as the masculine has come through this energy, it's like he turns his heart light on, and boom, it connects with the divine feminine. That's this manifestation. Manifesting maybe a reconciliation for some of you, or just, you know, you guys meeting each other here in the 3D. So do pay attention to the signs and synchronicities, because I do feel like they are calling you back to one another. All right. And again, don't get off put by promiscuity. It's not for everybody. It could just be that somebody was very in and out of your life. And what I was getting was that passionate adventurer. For some of you, the divine masculine, it's not that they're sleeping around or they're being promiscuous. It's just that they're not able to stand still. They're not able to sort of, or they weren't, because again, it could be something that's already passed, that they weren't able to sort of stay still. So it could be adventure. It can be overworking. You know, it can be many different things. So for the divine feminine, please, we get angelic. Yeah, and I get this energy. Definitely a lot of, it's a beautiful energy being surrounded by your angels and your guides. But I feel like she is in this very beautiful energy of holding space and enjoying the process. And almost like, wow, it's like the divine masculine goes through this dark night of the soul and comes out looking at her like, wow, you were there all along, or it was you all along that I was seeing in my dreams that was pushing me forward, that was helping me heal. Really nice energy here. And then we get sexy. So yeah, the full package there, divine feminine. If you are the divine feminine, you are the full package. All right, not who you think. Interesting. And social butterfly. So that's what I'm getting from the divine masculine, that Knight of Wands energy, being a social butterfly, not staying still, you know, maybe even avoiding doing this shadow work, or avoiding being alone, and may do that by over intoxication or by travel. And I feel like, you know, the divine masculine there, I feel like on both sides there's choices, or there may have been, or there may be choices in love. And there may have been, it may have even been that the divine masculine chose somebody else, or vice versa. But there's this realization, again, I just heard it was you all along, okay? So that recognition of your soulmate, of, you know, who is your soulmate, or your twin flame rather, okay? So that could be for the feminine, it could be for the masculine. Take it how it resonates. All right, let's go ahead and see. And it's possible, if you guys were in union, that this union was separated, okay, because the divine masculine chose somebody else, or wanted to play the field, or just wasn't ready to sort of step up in that role, okay, of life partner, of supporting and building up the divine feminine, because there was work he needed to do. Not an excuse for bad behavior, okay? You are safe and divinely guided. Definitely you guys have a celestial and angelic team behind you, divine feminine. Radical acceptance and surrender can help you let go. So I feel like this is the masculine purging and releasing those childhood wounds. Very emotional trauma and pain, maybe even a karmic situation. And I feel like in letting go, it brings him right back to the feminine. Time alone or in nature will help you recharge. So just a reminder here that on the twin flame journey, this separation, This time alone is meant for each of you to evolve separately. Okay, whether you're holding space for your counterpart, or just to evolve separately so that you could come back together at the frequency with which you were meant to thrive and experience joy and passion and happiness and abundance together. So some of you may be dealing with a Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarius. And remember, Libra is your axis, so the Aries Libra axis is important here. And I have been called to remind you that checking your North Node is particularly important, or is going to resonate more for you guys. This is more than friendship, so it could be somebody here was friend-zoned, okay? Or it could also be the Divine Feminine has or had options in the friend group. Karmic lesson, absolutely, absolutely working through, purging and releasing karma for the Divine Masculine. Our sex melts me. So I do get here too, there may have been, you know, depending on how you guys met, it could have been a friends with benefits situation that somebody or both are realizing it's more than that. I feel like the feminine realized it earlier on than the masculine, but he's coming back around to realize, wow, this is a lot more than like a fleeting romance or a friends with benefits situation. I also feel like, you know, the masculine in the past may have been using sex as a disguise for intimacy, or, you know, or promiscuity even, to cover up, you know, some childhood wounding and some triggers that he's currently releasing, okay? And then we get Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So you could be dealing with an earth sign or have heavy earth placements. And I wish I chose you. Okay, interesting. So again, we are getting some third party energy coming through here, you guys. But I also feel like, you know, the Divine Masculine chose to go off on an adventure, or had to go through a dark night of the soul. I mean, I know they're not synonymous. A dark night of the soul is not like a, you know, a fun adventure. But I also feel like there's a little bit of regret here. About making the wrong choice, but Spirit's saying this is absolutely not, there's no regrets here. Everything is unfolding exactly the way it's supposed to, okay? So let's go ahead and see what crystals come through. This is the Crystal Wisdom Healing Oracle. All the cards are listed down below and linked when I can. All right, so we see Charoite. I think that's how it's pronounced. You guys can correct me. For the Divine Feminine, Carnelian for the Divine Masculine. That does not surprise me. There's a lot of sex energy here. And then we get Brandenburg Amethyst. Ooh, whoops, sorry you guys. Look at that. Whoop. Sorry about that. Let me just fix the camera. All right, so for the Divine Feminine, we have, I think the pronunciation is Charoite or Charoite, but I could definitely be wrong. This is a very important stone. It's called wound healing, or it's for wound healing. So this stone provides deep physical and emotional healing, transmuting negative energy. There's the Magician card, but I think this is funny because this is what I was picking up on the masculine. But remember, the healing and the breakthroughs that you have are going to affect your counterpart no matter how you identify. With its assistance, you recognize that your greatest trauma is also your most profound gift. Accept it with grace. This stone re-energizes, heals, and integrates dualities, healing past life disease carried into the present. Ooh, yeah, absolutely bringing you guys together. So, time to take control. You're undergoing a vibrational change, creating links to higher realities. Visions of past lives suggest ways to redress karma personally and collectively. Wow. All right. So love that for the Divine Feminine. All right. For the Divine Masculine, we get Carnelian. So this is creativity. So carnelian protects against glamours or spells. And there may have been some sort of spell work. There may have been, you know, I don't like to really go into that a lot in my readings, but it could have been this third party energy. And the masculine, it could be a, you know, if it was a negative situation, it could be that he's releasing himself from this. Bringing good fortune to the wearer, it prevents blood from rushing to the head to cause precipitate action. Be eloquent, creative, and bold. Do not back down. Trust your intuitive perceptions. Distinction in your career lies ahead. Be a mentor. Alleviate stress. Take time to play. You're a tower of strength during sorrow. We also get courage in the face of danger comes from inner strength, not foolhardiness. Your family means a lot to you. Your sex drive is strong. Lust or aggression has been a problem in a past life, and it may be exactly what's being healed in this lifetime. The timing is Taurus, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, or Scorpio. Okay, so you could be dealing with one of those signs. And then we have number 38, which breaks down to an 11. So lots of twin flame energy and confirmation. The perfect blueprint. The Brandenburg amethyst is a master healer. It holds the perfect blueprint of your soul and all that is. It heals physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, karmic, planetary, and ancestral auric layers and imprints the most perfect energetic pattern possible. So you are perfect exactly as you are in the present moment. Step onto your soul path and seed your future with potential. Self-discipline and clear focus bring your dreams to fruition. Aim for the highest. Okay, very nice. So this is what's happening for you guys. The timing is at any moment, so expect the unexpected. It's for all the chakras, and this is about seeing the perfection in each moment, staying present. So there's a very high frequency and a beautiful celestial angelic team that is bringing you guys together. All right, so I'm going to leave it here. I'm sending you guys lots of love and light. Take care.